Когда мы выходим на берег, то девочки радостно стонут, и мы начинаем рассказывать про разные трудности моря. Но хватит, забыла сирена, и мы быстро прыгаем в воду. Мы жить не привыкли на суше, мы любим нырять и купаться, аквалангисты. Это хорошо, да, и взрослые знают, и дети. Мы радость творим на планете, аквалангисты. Это не игра. Меня укусила акула, тебя укусила акула, ее укусила акула, да нас всех укусила акула. Аквалангисты, это не игра.
Just in time. Hello there, new round. Hello there, Tomcat. Always happy to see you. Now back to the proper greeting. Good evening, afternoon, or whatever time of the day it is in your part of the world. And tonight, we're going back to Warhammer 40k Mechanicus. Always happy to see people around here. Now, previously we did try to take on the first boss. It did not go as planned. And that means we gotta grind a little bit more so that our experience is not as miserable as the last time. Now let me just quickly adjust the settings and we'll be able to continue where we left off. I know, surreal experience, but I am happy all the same. Especially people I am familiar with. Let's adjust the screen as well. No idea why it keeps switching, or rather appearing so tilted to bottom right. Maybe we can even expand it a little bit more, like so. Kind of like that, yeah. Alright then. Back to the Blackstone mines. And by... oh, wait. Gotta load up. Because this is not where I want to be right now. There it is. So, let's take a look at the missions that we have right now. We got Brave Goods, which will give us Phosphorus Serpenta, Cognitive Canister. Lock and Key will give us Zenerite Pattern Volkite Blaster and Curatio Claw. Hefty one. 3 augments but heals 8 to 10 HP. Vinex gives us Cognition Mechadendrite and Cognition Gauge increase by 1 point, which is very nice. Capra will give us Curatio Mechadendrite and Skitari Ranger Alpha. They're pretty meh from what I remember. Quartermaster Row will give us Cog Occultaris. At the start of the battle, the unit appears untargetable until he performs an attack. Gain plus 50% crit chance until the next attack. And of course the 2 boss missions that we have, the Lord Astronomer and the Void Admiral. Oh, and of course this hidden mission, the First Seal. Xenobiologist Teresus, a brilliant young tech priest, has requested the retrieval of a Necron relic from the tomb of Agrelek. Its inscriptions should help illuminate the mysteries of the Necron language. This one, difficulty, Servitor easy. Right. Especially now that we'll have Cryptex appearing in this one. But it will give us Zenerite Mechadendrite, which is just chip damage overall. 1 to 2 physical damage and acid. And applies acid, but only 1 augment. Oh, but also Energia Enhancer. All energy attacks gain +1 energy damage for 1 round. I don't think we have too many energy weapons right now, but let's check. Let's see, we've got the Phosphor Blast Pistol, the Gamma Pistol, the Arc Pistol, the Arc Rifle, and the Volkite Blaster. Oh, and the Arc Scourge, of course. And the Phosphor Blaster, cannot forget about that one, but then again, it is too unwieldy for us at the time. Maybe the Arc Scourge would be a better choice, but let's see. One augment versus 2 to 4 energy damage versus 5 to 7, but if I recall correctly, the Arc Scourge has shorter but wider cone, if it makes sense to you. We'll consider our options. For now, though, I am thinking we go with lock and key first, so we can get the Zenerite pattern Volkite Blaster. Find the key that will unlock the artifact's power. What do we have here? Triarch Praetorian, Immortal, Canoptech Acanthite, and the Warrior. Alternatively, we first go for the Cognition Gauge increase. That's a safe bet. We'll have Death Marks, Immortals, Flayed Ones, and Warriors. For that one, I can actually try and equip Leonardus with the Arc Scourge instead of the Phosphor Blaster, as an experiment. And we even have an augment point to spare, so in that case, what can we put on you? Considering right now you are going down the Explorator tree, might as well unlock the final head augment. So here you go, I want you to keep this one. Now he's got a decent 2 physical armor. And considering he is mainly going to be engaged in melee, we've got the power field generator equipped on him already, so how about a Cog Occultaris as well, for extra shenanigans. We'll see how that one works out. All of you are coming aboard. And I think we can afford to take 1 Skitarii Ranger, maybe even 2, and a Skitarii Vanguard Alpha. Watching the Alpha NASCAR's upcoming race at Coronado Naval. Sounds fun. Can't say that I watch too much races, but if it's up your alley, then hopefully it'll be fun. Magus, the discovery of this new tomb is a cause for great perturbation. I can imagine, Videx. A foul place indeed. It is to be hoped whatever diseases are within are not communicable to humans. There is one element of its foulness that cannot help be noticed by our personnel on the ground. You refer to the stench. A tech priest cannot be dismayed by such things, but less augmented personnel are complaining vociferously about the matter. The fumes are actively damaging rebreather components. Levistian 714. Bleak be the prospects when the black wind of heresy blows. Your solution, Lector Dogmatis? Sacred incense burners placed at key points in the tomb of Ubiao will banish the noxious fumes. I suspected as much, and I take it the tech priests under my command will be expected to enter the tomb and place this incense. Indeed. Then we are of the same mind in this matter, Magus. The tomb of Obiawi is infested and the atmosphere is toxic. It's damaging our rebreathers and pushing filtration glands to their limit. Fair. Mainstream motorsport's been kind of boring nowadays. Any who outside of the endurance stuff and other oddities? I gotta watch one of those Paris-Dakar rallies at some point. Good thing I have a friend that is actually invested in watching Formula 1 and such. So this will be an interesting experience, if we can find some time for that. When this sacred work is complete, conditions shall be greatly improved. I hope you're correct. None of the Skitarii relish being sent into the tomb of Ubiao. And not just because of the flayed ones. They will do their duty. They will make us, complaining all the way. We're ready to advance. So the shortest path. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only one glyph point to take, but it's amenable. This chamber is littered with human bones. They show signs of having been dismembered with sharp blades. They represent around a dozen bodies. Gather the bones for proper interment outside the tomb. Ignore them and move on, it's not our concern. Examine the bones in case they can tell us more about the threats in the tomb of Ubiao. Aaron gives me links to lesser known races from time to time. Noted. I think if we dignify them, we risk increasing the tomb's awake level. If we disregard, this will increase the Necron's initiative. But if we detect... Let's see what happens if we detect. The bones were indeed dismembered with extremely sharp blades, but they were butchered with little skill rather than dissected. The dismemberment took place post-mortem. They were probably settlers of St. Eckhardt's Hope, who strayed into the tomb or were captured and brought here. This information sets the cohort on edge, and they scanned their surroundings for whatever did this. Aha! Necron initiative decreased, the first so far. Couple of Necron warriors and flayed ones. Oh, and an immortal right here. This will be somewhat unpleasant, but nothing we cannot handle. So, Leonardus over here. Jeremiah here. No, Manarius here and Jeremiah here. We're all set. Tell me about this immortal. Energy armor. How convenient. I don't suppose you'll entertain me coming up a little close to you, but wait. First I'm gonna need some cognition points. Thank you. Now, as I was saying... This will be coming... or rather, making a move. Fourth in line. I don't see any other cognition points of interest around here, so gotta be careful. But there are 2 consoles we can scan for additional blackstone and possibly offset of the Tomb's Awake level. So I think we can go up close and personal. Activate the power field generator. And say hello. Very good. 8 damage crit. Now, Manarius. What can you tell me about this one? 5 HP. No armor at all. Nothing else we can do for now, but stay over here. Maybe even close to this wall. Now, Jeremiah. You do have some weapons that can be used without additional cognition points. So let's see if we can set up some cheeky kill boxes. Tell me about that one. And might as well Very good. Now they will of course try to surround us and deal some damage, but it's nothing we cannot handle. Especially like that. Will you shoot? Of course you will. 3 damage? 2 damage. Very good. In the sense that it's not as bad as it could have been, but still, nothing too serious just yet. There's the first level. More Necrons coming in? Not this time. But we will deploy Skitarii Vanguard Alpha for some crowd control over here. We just need to push through these MFers. And so far, Leonardus, or rather Jeremiah, is proving to be a very adept fighter. Exactly as he should. Now, give me that sweet, sweet blackstone. Gone? Reduced to ashes. Now what else can we do? I got 2 cognition points to spare, so I suppose we can shoot either one of these for some extra damage. Alternatively, we just move along and try our best to keep it under wraps. Yeah, I think we can economize a little bit right now. 2 damage? 1 damage. Very good. Feels good to be wrong sometimes. Now, where was I? Almost got you. Almost got you there. You will go down eventually, of course. Now, if we strike over here, yeah, this will be good. Especially with that crit. That also not quite took care of the Immortal, but it did its job. Now we're just gonna move over here. 1 damage. Ooh, 4 damage. Now that's a crit and a half. Not gonna be deploying anyone just yet. 2 damage, unpleasant but survivable. Grab those cognition points and move up to deal with the second console. First we loot, then we smash. Oh, and do not forget to grab information on that one. 1 physical armor. Understood. I wonder. Yep, out of range, and if we do it like that, 5 to 7, which would be almost enough. Not yet. Now, fix yourself up with the Curatio Claw. Tell me, what do you know about that one? No physical armor, or energy armor at all. Then, time to deploy the Arc Rifle. Sorry about that, Skitari Vanguard, but it is important. Again, apologies. You'll understand, right? Of course you will. You're a good little trooper. We will patch you up once you get back on board. I promise you that. Also, so that he doesn't get any stupid ideas, down he goes. Thank you for your cooperation. I do mean it. Now, deal with the Immortal. He ain't need to get up no more. And then go and say hello to that warrior. First, like this. And then up close and personal, as is tradition. Now, where is your physical armor now? Oh wait, nowhere. And with that strike, if we're lucky, this combo will definitely knock you out. Ooh, even a critical. Everything I could have hoped for and more. Minimal losses. Congratulations to us. Though this junction of passageways is one of places selected by the incense burner, an unexpectedly strong air current is blowing through the intersection. It will disperse the incense before it has a chance to perform its purpose of sacred odor banishing. Use tech lore to alter the chemical makeup of the incense and intensify its effect. Find another location nearby for the sensor. Search for the source of air current. If it is an optimal location, then reformulate seems to be the most logical choice, with redeploy being the second one. If we reconnoiter, then we risk either increasing the initiative or the Tombs Awake level. So let's go with reformulate. The cohort attempts to alter the chemistry of the sacred incense using Promethean fuel, but the incense is several centuries old and made with alchemical techniques lost to the Imperium. When burned, the appalling stench exuded by the burner is worse than the rot of the tomb of Ubiao. Unfortunate. I love how incense can actually soothe machines in this universe. Well, that's why Warhammer 40k is actually science fantasy. Everyone is ready to talk about it, but they are just being cowards about it. The chamber ahead is dominated by a hideous trophy of body parts, festooned with sheets of tattered skin and constructed from blood-stained bones. Adherence to the cult Mechanicus and basic human decency demands it be destroyed. Take it apart by hand. Let us pay respect to those that we have passed. Blow it up. We have plenty of grenades that could do the job. Burn it. Ensure nothing remains. When the enemy seeks to break our spirit, meet his blasphemy with flame. With a great quantity of flame, the grotesque trophy is immolated and destroyed. The chamber is rendered impossible to navigate, and the cohort uses valuable time finding a way out. That's good to know. Now, what do we have in the glyph chamber? Two unfamiliar ones. Although this one is partially familiar, I don't think it's the good one, so let's try our chances with this one. Oh, we lost the cognition point. Unfortunate. Oh, now we're going up to Tombs Awake level 2. Let's see what we can get out of this one. Scan or destroy this one and this one. 3 warriors, 4 warriors, and a flayed one. Sounds easy enough. Which means Manarius to deploy closer to that obelisk. Leonardus goes here, and Jeremiah right behind him. And I think we can actually deploy a Skitari Ranger to help. First, grab that cognition point. And then get a little closer. What can you tell me about this one, actually? 10 HP, no armor. Easy to deal with. Now, if we get over here, this will be a bit of a trade. And we can use Arc Scourge, like so. Ooh, that's what I like to see. Now, we're gonna be a bit cheeky. Grab this blackstone. Get a little close and personal over here. What do we have? 4 HP, 1 energy armor. And what was it? 5 HP, no armor. Which means we can activate the power field generator. And say goodbye to the flayed one. Now, Manarius over here can grab that cognition point. Can you nail anyone from this point? I don't think you can, so might as well at least reveal stats on that one. 8, 1 energy armor. Pretty standard. So, stay where you are. Jeremiah, in the meantime, will grab these 2 cognition points and move up over here. Now, this won't do much damage. So we can at least dispose of that flayed one. And now I forgot. Yeah, there it is. Plus 1 cognition point gained on killing a target. So we can do something cheeky in here and hopefully, yep, there we go. Net gain of 1 CP. That of course comes out wrong, but hey, nobody's perfect. And move in for an opportunity attack over here. We're down here. Now that one didn't have any weapons in range, so we can at least move up and start shooting at this console to scale back a Tombs Awake level. And I think we can also deploy another Skitari Ranger. Down you go. Not quite. 3 damage. That'll be 2 damage. This one will try to get up in 2 turns, which we won't allow. So, you are on our to exterminate list. Goodbye. Time to make our way to that second console. That's where the reinforcements come in, right? Yep. Lots of flayed ones, but nothing we cannot handle. especially with this Arc Scourge. So we're just gonna be nice, close and personal. Say goodbye. Nice! That's what I like to see. And you will hopefully take care of yourself in time. Now Mechanicus is a little bit useless at this point over here, so we're just gonna try and walk him over there. Might as well even... Nah, Jeremiah can take care of himself. Mechanicus, or rather... Oh, I forget how my own tech priests are named. Are called. But first of all, you are going down. Not quite, but you will, soon enough. I guarantee you. While we're at it, can you nail that one? Of course you can. And we almost got him. Just gonna move him a little bit away so that he is not damaged by any Necrons. Finish off the other one. And stay over here. Let them come to you. You will go down now, thank you. The other Necron warrior comes up. 2 damage. 3 damage. We're definitely gonna need to patch up Mechanicus now. Anyone else? An Immortal and a Warrior. Something we can deal with once again. Now it's time to deploy the Vanguard Alpha over here. Anyone else looking for a fight in the immediate vicinity? Yeah, the Immortal is making its first move. That's how much? 1 damage. And reduction of movement on the Vanguard Alpha. Unfortunate. However, if we are lucky, we can dispose of this flayed one in 1 strike. First things first, however. What's your business? 15 HP, 2 physical armor. Okay. That is why we are currently lugging around this Arc Scourge. We just need a bit more cognition for it. Now, as I was saying, can you die for me, please? You absolutely can, with a critical. Thank you. Now we're just gonna move a little closer to take care of that panel. And while we are here, we will scan the other Necron warrior. 2 energy armor. That is something we can deal with. Now let me just first grab that cognition point. Then use the arc pistol to take care of this cluster. Sorry about that, Vanguard Alpha. This is important. I apologize in advance. Grab these 2. And what can we hit from this angle? Nothing important. So I suppose we can just whack this one. And we get our cognition point back, which is always nice. Now, while we are here, this one had no armor, so we can... Although, if we were to move over here... Yeah, we can shoot you from this angle. And the Immortal is arguably a more priority important target, so... 3 damage, nothing to sneeze at. 2 damage. I do need to patch you up as soon as possible. Meanwhile, we make our way up here and shoot the one without the armor. Like so. Very nice. Meanwhile, Vanguard Alpha takes care of this flayed one, so that you won't get up. And stay away. 3 damage. 2 damage. Acceptable. 1 damage to all. Movement reduced on a Skitari, which is, once again, acceptable. Now, we get up close to you over here. Not need to use the power field generator just yet, so we are just going to get over here and use the Arc Scourge. Stop wobbling, thank you. 6 damage. Now we can get up close, pop the power field generator, and see if you will go down. I think you will. Thank you for your cooperation. Omnisci greatly values your contribution. We can afford to spend some cognition points like so. Oh, you don't have a Curatio Claw, so Litany of Life it is. We get over here, pop the Sanctus canister. We send you to the land of eternal sleep. Almost. And hopefully, this will be enough. Very nice. We are in range to shoot you, so can you die for me, please? No, we need one more shot. Okay. We can make it happen. Absolutely. No strings attached. Not at all. It's on the house, pal. On the house. Thank you all. This may not be a well-omened place for the burner. Meditation's Logic A, verse 619. How dim the sacred light burns when the unholy darkness loometh all about. The chamber where the burner is placed is festooned with scraps of gory human skin, and the walls are inscribed with necron sigils that exude a sense of unholiness. Attempt to clean away the worst of the unholy gore. Bless the chamber with prayer to counteract this unholy aura. Reject this cursed place and find another place for the incense burner. Let's try to sanctify this place. The cohort's prayers drive back the oppressive miasma and against all odds bring a sense of calm and purity to this foul place. They set up the incense burner in the knowledge the light of sacred knowledge can shine even here. Sacred incense burners begin sending clouds of sacred toxin-neutralizing smoke throughout the tomb. Though the tomb of Ubiao is still an extremely unpleasant and dangerous environment, the most severe effects of the fouled atmosphere are counteracted and the Skitari are able to operate with greater effectiveness. Already the tomb of Ubiao represents less of a moral threat to our mission. Calamnan Orations 525. The sweet incense of faith conquers the toxic stench of corruption. Its inhabitants are no less inimical to our presence, however. And they will be destroyed, Magus. Like every other Xenos on this planet, they will fall before us. Macarian Commentaries, Chapter 71. As we purify the ground beneath their feet, they shall find no shelter. I admire your zeal, Videx, but our mission will not be achieved with faith alone. That is why we brought guns as well as prayers, Magus. And he is right in that regard. I'll give him that. Now, can I get a 4th Tech Priest, please? Oh, we also get a final version of Litany of Life, 15 HP heal. A little too excessive for now, and Tutelage of the Momentum, plus 10 meter movement for 1 round. For everyone, I'm guessing. Next, what do we have? Gauss Gamma Pistol and Omnispecs. Target has a 75% chance to miss you with its attacks for 1 round. That one's activatable, unlike the one that we have, which was... where was it? Not that one, not that one. Yeah, this Omnispecs. Or was it something else? No, I'm pretty sure it was something else. Yeah, that was definitely one of the augments that we had. That just gave us flat 20% dodge. And it was on Leonardus. Or am I mistaken? We'll consider that next time. Let's see what your next upgrade, final upgrade as Explorator gives. Traveler. If no ranged weapons are equipped, plus 1 damage, plus 3 meters to movement, plus 1 physical and energy armor, plus 15% crit chance. So you will become our pure melee beatstick. If I look at Jeremiah, his final upgrade is Overcharged Cognition. Fill the cognition gauge, collect 1 cognition point when hit by an enemy, so basically the Servitor special. And if we look at Manarius, what do you have? Oh, we haven't upgraded you fully yet. Well, first you get Enhancers. Energy Enhancers cost -1 cognition points to use. And your final will be Rites of Range. If no melee weapon is equipped, gain +1 damage, +1 physical and energy armor, +4 range for ranged weapons, and +15% crit chance. So you will become our ranged beatstick, which I like. So let's get you out in full. Do we have any energy enhancers yet? I don't think we do. And your final upgrade, after we give you the Dominus Leg augments. Now I'm thinking. The Phosphor Blaster deals energy damage. The Volkite Blaster also deals the energy damage. However, 1 to 8 energy damage on target and 1 to 2 energy damage to chain targets. Machine Spirit area size increased. Volkite Blaster deals 6 to 8 energy damage to a target, and cognition cost will be reduced to 1 CP, starting with 3. Alternatively, we give you a Gamma Pistol. Ignores armor, deals 1 to 2 pure damage. With the Machine Spirit destroys 1 energy And 0 physical armor. Not ideal. So maybe we'll get you something else. We'll see how it develops. First, let's get to our secret mission. After all, that's where the energy enhancer will come from. Same as it ever was. So 2 Skitarii Rangers and 1 Vanguard Alpha. Magus, I have not properly expressed my gratitude for bringing me on this mission. It is an opportunity to study these aliens up close. We are rarely afforded such a chance. I did not bring you as a favor, Teresus. A Magus does not grant favors, even to those he has mentored in person. Your xenolinguistic skills could be relevant in ascertaining any threat on Silva Tenebris. I understand. You will not find me wanting. I do not expect to. I trained you myself. Lord Magus, a moment of your time, if I may. Xenobiologist Teresus, I return gladness you were able to accompany this mission. The Necrons lack traditional biology for you to study, but I feel there will be much opportunity for learning. And I would like to start right away. The place known as the Tomb of Agrolek has a particular relic that I feel would greatly benefit my studies. It is covered in inscriptions that will surely help illuminate the ways of the Necron. Seeking the relics of the Xenos is a perilous path to set out on. I shall ensure the relic is fully quarantined. If it proves to be anything but inert, I shall destroy it. Your request will be considered, Xenobiologist. I can promise you no more. But of course, we are gonna go right in. The scout reports from the Tomb of Agrolek mention an inscribed monolith-like object. It is very large, so its location must be fully secured before labor servitors can move it out of the tomb. Hence, you need for my tech priests to secure it. The Skitarii scouts have found a lot more than your artifact in there, Xenobiologists. The Tomb of Agrolek is definitely hostile. There are many enemy contacts everywhere. I am aware of how valuable our tech priests are. I would not undertake this if I did not think the potential for learning is worth the risk to them. I concur. Advance immediately, Capra. Yes, Magus. The will of Mars be done. Now, what's the shortest path? 1, 2, 3. That's it. If it is as easy as the mission info claimed, we'll see. The cohort comes across a particularly decrepit and corroded part of the Tomb of Agrolek. Water has found its way into the tomb and badly degraded the structure. The chamber ahead looks unstable, but it must be traversed if the cohort is to reach the artifact's location. Use salvaged cabling and principles of physics to rig a form of harness that can be used to cross the unstable chamber. Remove the instability by destroying the chamber's remaining supports, bringing the rest of it down and hoping the collapsed chamber will still have enough room to cross it. Stride across the chamber boldly, trusting in the Omnissiah to protect the cohort. No, Omnissiah helps those that help themselves, so... The cohort uses the basic principles of the Opus Physicalis, utilizing fulcrum points to create a harness that can be used to move along a suspended cable to the other side of the chamber. Though this takes time, it allows them to proceed without injury and demonstrate the superiority of the logical principles of the cult of Mechanicus. Now, if only we didn't get those awakening meters and Necron initiative increases. Still, accidents happen. This place has a sinister aspect. Perhaps there is something to be found here, but tread carefully, Magus. The chamber ahead is a huge hangar-like space containing several large, glossy blackstone obelisks. Though each is featureless, they must have some symbolic purpose. Topple the obelisks. If they are of symbolic value to the Necrons, they should be destroyed. Attempt to booby-trap the obelisks. If they are of symbolic value, the Necrons will surely return here. Move through the obelisk chamber carefully, keeping watch of any sign of danger. If those are security obelisks, then anyone that attempts to booby-trap them will take damage. If we topple them, this may increase either our cognition points or their initiative. If we move through the obelisk chamber carefully, there is a possibility of increase of Tomb's Awake level. Let's right on top of them. The cohort throw a demolition charge at the base of one of the obelisks and detonate it. The obelisk, however, is made of some unexpectedly tough material and is not destroyed. The explosion echoes through the tomb, however, surely drawing Necrons towards the cohort's position. Well, at least it was only one gauge increase. So, time to get to work. Wonder Protocol, most fascinating. Appears, Cryptek of Necron are equal engine seers of Adeptus Mechanicus. They embody repair, defense, support for other units. Most similar, almost disturbingly so. In that we can find common ground. Shock. This is a first. There is a verse in Know Thy Enemy to Know Thyself where Scripture Brother Mechanicus Auxilium Prime noted, in each society there is a classification that is mirrored in another society. It didn't really make sense before. Must start recording. Recording started. This moment with Vidix's agreement. Yes, very little mirrors between Mechanicus and Imperium, so I couldn't find the parallels before. I didn't expect to find them in a Xenos race. Yes, all good, but what is this creature? Designation Cryptek. Only sighted from afar. Unknown data. We need to get over here. What do we have so far? There's the Cryptek. Warrior, Immortal. Another Warrior, a couple of Monoliths, and a Console. If we can destroy the Console, that'd be appreciated, but it's much too far away. Plus, of course, there's the guarantee that there will be reinforcements coming from here. But again, nothing we cannot handle. So, Jeremiah, Manarius, and Leonardus. Tell me about yourself. 10 HP, no armor. Seems like an easy target. But we'll see. Thank you for the cognition point. And grab the two over here as well. Now, Jeremiah, if you were to make your way over there, that would be appreciated. But first of all, can you shoot any of them? Only if we were to spend a cognition point. Well, in that case, I'd rather get over there and start wailing at that console. Manarius, what can you tell me about the Immortal? 3 energy armor. I see how it is. In that case, we go over here. And we shoot with our Xenorite Macrostubber. Enjoy the acid. Two more warriors. Okay. Here comes the Cryptek. No, not yet. And we're not deploying anyone just yet. So Leonardus, grab those two. Move up close and personal. And let's say hello to the Cryptek. Consider it a form of cultural exchange, especially with that 8 damage crit. You love to see it. Fixes him up. And down it goes. Now give me that cognition point. Thank you. Now, Jeremiah, continue your way forward. Especially if we just trade one cognition point for another. No big deal. Start shooting. We really need to get us some better melee options besides the standard power axe. Rather, Omnisci axe. Hopefully, RNG will bless us with one such option in future missions. 2 damage, 2 damage. Movement slowed? No movement slowed. Enjoy the acid just as I requested. Thank you kindly. Now then. We got 4 points to spare. I don't think we're gonna be spending all of them right away, of course, so in that case, we'll just move up and continue shooting you with the Xenorite Macrostabber. Once again, enjoy. Especially with that critical. All of those moving up. Oh, we spent the opportunity strike on the Cryptek. We will need to patch you up. More are coming, more are coming. Another Cryptek and another warrior. Understandable. Now I'm thinking we can deploy at least a Skitari Ranger, first of all. Now, what can you tell me about that Cryptek? 15 HP, 1 energy armor. Respectable. On par with us. Precisely why you must die as soon as possible. However, taking everything into account, I'm gonna be shooting the Xenorite Macrostabber first of all. Wonderful. And then you are gonna stay put for now. We'll deal with you in a second. I don't think I'm gonna be using the Machine Spirit to kill off that Cryptek just yet. That'll be too wasteful. So yeah, stay put. Now tell me. Actually, no. It's all show, don't tell at this point. And thank you for the free cognition point, because that counts as kill. So, give me another one. I will be with you shortly. So I suppose I can move up a little closer. And stay right there. Now, Manarius will, of course, be using a service call to grab some information on the closer one. 1 physical armor, understood. And I think if we stay over here, this should be enough to hopefully dispose of that one in one shot. Are we good? We are golden! And, of course, we'll use 1 cognition point to patch up Jeremiah. That was Jeremiah, right? I sometimes forget your names. Not because I'm malicious, but because I can be forgetful. Sorry about that. Now you, Ranger, can start going for a flanking maneuver, so we can chip away at any of these warriors. Back to Necron level 2. Anyone else? Of course. What do we have? Another Immortal and another Warrior. I don't think we're going to be deploying anyone just yet. We are just gonna make our way over here. And we will be taking care of that cryptek, don't you worry. I think we'll be able to do some damage to you. At the very least, I hope so. Yep, 2 physical armor, so that damage did not go to waste. Let me also show you this very nice axe that I have. I'm sure you'll appreciate it up close and personal. Like that. Oh, one of lethal. But hey, we did manage to dodge it. Now, as mentioned, we grab the cognition points, we finish off the cryptek before it gets up, and we continue up ahead. Now, I don't like the look of that immortal, but there is nothing we can do about him for now. 2 damage. 2 damage. There's the repair from cryptek, as expected. Now, anyone else? Damage absorption? No, that's a critical. 3 damage goes through. Oof. Let's see if we can glimpse anything about you. Also physical armor, thank you. Thank you kindly, actually. I think we can deploy the second Skitari Ranger at least. Or, no, not yet. And by not yet, I mean no. Just no. Seeing as we are here, we're not going to the melee range just yet, so we'll have to contend with Xenorite Macro Stapper, because the Arc Scourge does not have enough range to get to you. This should deal at least some damage, plus acid, especially with that crit. Grab those 2. Now, remind me... Yeah, you've got energy armor, so... First of all, Phosphor Blast Pistol. Then we get up close and personal, introduce you to the Power Axe. And now we use the Arc Pistol. And move in this direction. Alright, Menarius. What can you tell me about that one? Oh, he's as good as dead. Wonderful. But while we are at it, how much damage can the arc rifle do? Should be a respectable amount. And if we're lucky, that's what I like to see. Now this one will try to shoot. No damage? No damage. Wonderful. Here comes the rest of the Bone Squad. You'll try to get up in 2 turns. Yep, cryptek is repairing you, as expected. Two damage. Movement reduced. You hate to see it. However, we will finish you off with this shot from Skitari Ranger. Very good. Now, get into position to provide covering fire from this angle. Now I think we can afford to deploy the second Skitarii Ranger over here. Leonardus, I suppose you can start getting into position to deal with that wave. But first of all, we get over here. Do we get the mission to kill them all? Absolutely. That's why we are here anyway. Now, arc pistol time. For that we gotta move a little closer, so... like that. And then, of course, the Phosphor Blast Pistol. Even if it's only 1 damage, it still counts. Now you, Ranger, will be able to finish off this Necron Warrior. I have faith in you. Do not screw it up. Almost, but it was a good crit nonetheless. I am proud of you, just so you know. Let's finish you off. Yep. You'll love to see it. Come on, get a little closer. And then we'll see what to do with you. However, first, Immortal's gotta go. Bit of a waste of the machine spirit, but still. Priority target and all that. Don't worry, Leonardus, you'll get into melee range soon enough. And you'll send even more Necrons back to reanimation protocols. So, we get over here. Nothing too special about those. We grab the cognition point. We pop the power field generator. And we send this one back where he came from. I love it when everything comes around exactly as I described it. Definitely makes me feel like a narrator. A good narrator, of course. Can I grab these 2 points? I absolutely can, thank you. Now, can we nail any of these from up there? Not quite, but at least there will be use for the arc pistol. Oh, please don't say everything is coming up Millhouse, because something will go wrong. But this time, I'll allow it. Also, sorry, Leonardus, about that. It was just 1 damage, but still, excuse me nonetheless. Now, if we run past this opportunity attack, it shouldn't deal too much damage. Especially if we dodge it. Haha. And you have got to go. Especially after we shred your armor. Alright, get into positions, everyone. As I won't tolerate further delays. We got places to be and things to discuss. With any luck, that Cryptek is as good as dead. And as luck would have it, he will be very dead. Right about now. Same applies to you. As good as dead. Just 1 more shot. But we will fix up this damage before it comes to that. no need to even deploy that Vanguard Alpha. So before we end our turn, or rather end the mission, fix ourselves up, economize on some blackstone, and now, goodbye. What a juicy crit to finish things off with. You didn't jinx it yet. A veritable monolith indeed. It resembles the Necron devices known as Tesseract Vaults. They have been reported at various sites of conjectured Necron presence. It is rare to have one intact for study. Can it be transported out of the tomb? Yes, xenobiologist, with difficulty. That's the artifact. I was perhaps unprepared for its size. Accompany the labor servitors carrying the Necron artifact to the tomb entrance, watching out for attack. Help the labor servitors move the artifact. The more muscle put into this task, the better. Scout ahead of the labor servitors moving the artifact, ensuring the path ahead is stable enough. Let's go with that. Reasoning the labor servitors need a safe and stable path back out of the tomb, the cohort ranges well ahead to secure the route. During this task, they come across a chamber where the Necron machinery of the tomb has malfunctioned, spilling components and valuable materials into the chamber. They take advantage of this find to salvage much of the material before escorting the artifact the rest of the way. The Tesseract is transported to the Caestus Metallicon, where it is placed in one of the hangar decks that is quickly quarantined from the rest of the ship. Xenobiologist Teresis begins the long, complicated task of translating the inscriptions that cover the monolith. It is truly intoxicating to have such an artifact isolated for study. I can only imagine what truths about the Necrons we can discover from this. Already I can tell the inscriptions are a form of history, perhaps the story of the Necrons themselves and how they came to be. I have deleted the pride and enthusiasm I feel, xenobiologists, and choose instead to register concern. Pursuit of alien knowledge is not to be undertaken lightly. More than your welfare is at risk. Fear not, Mechanicus. I have studied well the admonitions against the alien and the warnings before corruption. My whole life has been spent in studying, readying myself for this moment. Nevertheless, Teresis, you will be watched. And we've got our second Heretic mission available to us. But, first things first. Once again, let's see what do they say about Skitarii Ranger Alpha. They, of course, being the guides I peruse in that case. So give me a moment and I will be right with you. Now this is not cheating, of course. Let's call it preparedness. I like this word a lot more. Let's see, that's Skitarii Ranger Alpha. The less sucky version of Skitarii Vanguard Alpha. Ranger Alphas cause physical damage and are potent crowd control with an AoE attack that does decent damage. Unfortunately, again, they are rather fragile for dedicated melee units and will die very quickly if sent into the front lines. Once they get leveled up, though, they are able to fight in melee far more effectively. So yeah, I suppose we can grab them. Plus, of course, the Curatio Mechadendrite, which will go into the dedicated Mechadendrite slot. Hey, it's no longer 1d4 Chen, it's 1d6 Chen. After all, the king is dead, long live the king. Now, we can equip the energy enhancer now. All energy attacks gain +1 energy damage for 1 round. And considering everything, maybe we can replace the Zenorite Macrostabber here with the Volkite Blaster. We've got the Arc Rifle and the Volkite Blaster, and we already have enough dedicated melee damage of physical variety, so this will be agreeable. So, Zenerate Mechadendrite. Single target melee attack deals 1 to 2 physical damage to target, and Acid deals 1 damage over 3 turns. If we were to plug it into Monarius, I don't suppose it will... Oh, but we are out of augment slots already, so in that case, Jeremiah, would you like to get one? Then again, we give you the Cognition Mechadendrite to turn you into a Cognition farm of sorts. Shouldn't be too bad. Let's make it as an experiment, whether the Cognition Mechadendrite is worth it. We'll find out in the next mission, which is going to be Containment. Hunt and kill all Flayed Ones. Besides, Flayed Ones will also be dealing with Death Marks, Immortals, and Warriors. Nothing we are not unprepared to deal with. But before we go there, once again, we do need to give you your final discipline, and that means ridding you of the Arc Scourge and Zenerite Mechrostubber. For now, at least. And you know what? Maybe we should replace this arc pistol of yours with something a bit more substantial. Like, say, what was it? Not the Gamma pistol, definitely, and not the Phosphor Blast pistol, you already have that one. Not the Mechrostubber. Maybe we should try and give you the Arc Scourge. Experiment a little bit. Same loadout as before. It hasn't failed us yet, and I don't think it will for a while. We're barely holding the line in the Tomb of Wubiao. Swarms of these damned Flayed Ones are surging up from the lower levels. We're seeing our own soldiers coming back to us as skins draped over those things. We must keep the tomb open. The foulness of the place is not permissible as a factor in preventing us from completing our mission. We don't all have our emotions locked away at our convenience, Magus. My Skitarii cannot fight under those conditions. If morale keeps falling, we'll lose the tomb. I am not ignorant of the morale of less augmented personnel. The situation requires remedying. Then we need to stem the flow of Flayed Ones, otherwise the place will end up our tomb as well. That's precisely what we're going to do. The lower levels are swarming with Flayed Ones. If we seal a key passageway to those levels, we can hinder their movement to a manageable rate. Mission Doctrine suggests a cohort with demolition charges wood is a viable solution. My thoughts exactly, Magus. It's not just the danger to my men that worries me. When the enemy wears the skins of your dead comrades, death isn't the worst thing that can happen to you. Deployment number 13. Lucky 13, as they say. We need to get 2 points, which, as luck would have it, are one next to each other. So, the quickest choice would be to go through these 2 glyphs, and then hit 2 objective points. Let's see if we get anything good out of this. If I recall correctly, this one gives blackstone, so let's see if I remember correctly. No, that one was damage. And this one. Okay, this one should be good if I recall correctly. Yep, that's the blackstone one. Now, time to kill some flayed ones. Here they come. Oh, and the Necron Warrior, of course. Let's deploy as close as we can to the cognition point source, which means Jeremiah and Leonardus up front, Manarius right behind you. Which one will go first? The Necron Warrior. Do you have any armor? On the energy one. How fortuitous. Let's see if this thing works. It should, and he shoots, he scores. And by that I of course mean he comes down. Jeremiah. You should be able to get this flayed one down, right? Especially if we use Cognition Mechanism right. This will be a bit of a waste, but if everything goes right, this will be, or actually first the Sentis canister, and now this should be enough in theory. So, yep, and we get one more cognition point. You'll have to see it. Bit out of range, so move up. Tell me about yourself. Still no armor. Delightful. I'll be expecting you over here. Come on down. Especially once we have these kill zones set up. But while we are at it, can we shoot you from this angle? We absolutely can. And this should be more than enough to kill you. In this case, I'd rather you stay over here, close by the cognition point source. And actually, how about the arc rifle? It's a bit of a gamble, but still. We'll get our points back. Ooh, nasty critical though. At least we've got a damage absorption on this one. Now give me those cognition points back, thank you. No need to deploy anyone. Well, maybe Skitari Vanguard Alpha, but not yet. We're just going to stop by, say hello to this flayed one. Always nice it when they go ragdoll with criticals. Sight for sore eyes. Now, you should be nothing special, right? Indeed, you are not. And we will dispose of you accordingly. Goodbye. And that's the first pack of flayed ones dealt with. A dead Skitari is pinned up against the wall by blades speared through his body. It seems strange for the flayed one to leave a corpse behind without skinning and dismembering it. Perhaps this discovery would reward examination. Or perhaps it is a trap. Shoot down the body from a distance. If it is a trap, it should be deactivated so other Skitari do not get caught out by it. Take the body down and examine it. Leave the body alone. Let's be a bit callous and shoot the body down. The cohort riddles the corpse with gunfire. The body explodes in a burst of radiation as the booby trap is tripped. The cohort exults in the knowledge that they have not been outsmarted by the Necrons, though the gunfire and the triggering of the trap have surely given away their location. That won't matter. We do get our CP bar full up. So on to the next encounter we go, fully prepared. Once again, kill all flayed ones. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can deal with that. As per usual, Jeremiah and Leonardus up front, Manarius right behind you, and we can deploy 2 Skitari Rangers on the flanks. Now, Leonardus, would you be so kind as to deal with this Necron? I think you will be. But before we do that, I don't think these are anything special, and I do see 2 consoles that I would rather destroy first things first. So, almost. Should have popped the power field generator, but oh well. Skitari will be able to deal with the rest of them. Especially if we play it smartly. I know that was unpleasant, however, your sacrifice will not go in vain, believe you me. Because with all the cognition we have, this will be, well, not exactly a gold mine, but a reputable source. Especially if we do good on our rolls. We'll find out whether that was good in a moment. Come a little closer, you bastards. This should finish you off. Like that. Now, if I were to shoot you from this location, I can reach you. So, let's pop the energy enhancer. And hopefully the arc rifle will be more than enough to deal with you appropriately. At least one of you will die. See? That's exactly what I meant. Throwing in the Volkite blaster right now would be a bit of a waste. And we'll also deal with all of you in due time. You come the reinforcements? Not yet. First we gotta... Ah, no. There come the reinforcements. 3 more flayed ones. Again, we'll deal with them all the same. But, time to deploy the Vanguard Alpha over here so that our Skitari is not in a bad company. Like that. You stay where you are. Now, Leonardus, go around and grab all of the juicy cognition points. We can afford all of that. And especially that console over there. Can you... Might as well draw away some attention. Or then again, let's not forget why we came over here in the first place. First we loot, then we smash. Burn some of it away, hopefully we'll be also able to do that next turn. And stay right... No, there's no need for that for now. You will of course get caught up a little bit, but nothing too serious. Now you should be able to deal at least some damage to this one. Anyway we cut it, someone is about to get hurt. But in this case, we are going to lure them into a bit of a kill zone, courtesy of our Magus. Jeremiah does have a melee weapon on him, so opportunity attacks galore. The arc skirt should be enough to kill some of them, right? And before I forget, they all don't have melee armor, so they're not that scary to begin with. Now, if we do it like that, it should be good enough. And down it goes, down it goes. You'll have to see it. Anyone else looking for a fight? Don't think so. This will be a bit of a nasty opportunity attack. Should be only 1 damage if we're lucky. We were not lucky. 3 damage. But it's these sacrifices that keep us going. Another arc rifle shot. I need to get to a better position, which is over here. Yeah, this will be a good one. And even a crit. Very nice. Well done indeed. And fix yourself up a little. Let them come. Down goes another one. Anyone else? Fascinating. All 3 should be going down. Like that. Wonderful. Now, Leonardus, would you be so kind as to smash the other console? Thank you. And grab the other cognition point. Once that one moves, we are all golden. However, let's speed things along a little. Weapon's the last one standing anyway, so... Ta-ta! The archway leading to the lower reaches of the Tomb of Ubiao is rigged with demolition charges by the cohort. When they're detonated, the entire section of the tomb collapses, filling the Flayed One's route with massive amounts of rubble and detritus. The flow of Flayed Ones is stamped, and the Skitarii in the tomb win a rare reprieve. The Skitarii should have the pressure taken off of them for the time being. With the luck of Mars, they should be able to hold the tomb until it can be fully explored. Of all the forms of the Necron, the Flayed Ones are the foulest and the gravest moral threat to our Skitarii. Emotional returns of disgust, anger, and moral repugnance are filling my neurovolts to full capacity. I am moved to pray we will soon be finished with the Tomb of Ubiao. I have seen what has happened to our troops in there. I have seen how it changes them. I pray for the same thing, Magus. Once we get to there, boss, it'll be done and dusted. But I gotta say, I'm finally hitting that point where the missions are not as painful as they used to be. Maybe we're actually hitting the halfway point, where the game starts to get easier. But, knock on the wood. Don't jinx ourselves. So, anything else? Remind me, we've got Gauss Gamma Pistol. An upgrade, because it uses 2 cognition points to shoot. Deals 4 to 6 damage, but still, strips only 1 energy armor and machine spirit. There's the Omnispecs. An upgrade to our Skitarii Rangers, and an additional Tech Priest. Capra, you're winning me over once again. Subdomina Capra has suggested striking a symbolic blow against the Necrons by toppling a statue of Agrelek. This should help with the faltering morale of the Skitarii troops. And we'll be facing Destroyers, Triarch Praetorians, Deathmarks, Karamtek Acanthrites, and Warriors. I think we can take on this. But first, let's spend our Blackstone. Manarius, since you are our ranged expert right now, I don't suppose you'd like to take on another discipline, namely Zenerite. Restore 1 HP at the beginning of unit's turn, as opposed to Tech Auxilium. Your next weapon's attack cognition cost is reduced by 2 points. I suppose we can dip into Tech Auxilium as well, considering we are running some very hefty weapons on you. That should be good enough. Oh, we do have 1 free augment point, so what we can stick on you would be either Curatio Mechadendrite as opposed to the Curatio Claw, or we can give you a Zenerite Mechadendrite for a little bit of melee damage. Just a little bit. It won't count as a melee weapon, right? I don't think it will. So once again, deploying everyone to Skitarii Rangers, and this time let's try deploying the Skitarii Ranger Alpha. Avoid all opportunity attacks, and right now his attack only deals 3 to 5 physical damage. Not as good as the Skitarii, on par with Skitarii Vanguard Alpha at the moment, minus the AoE damage from the electricity. But we'll see how it goes. It might be difficult to grasp for someone with emotional dampening measures like yourself, Magus, but we're taking a hit on morale. The Seminarium Militum gives plentiful instruction on the importance of battlefield morale. I am well aware of the factors affecting it. Good, because it's been impacted in all cohorts of the Tomb Valley. We're working with the Skitarii hard, and they're fighting an undying enemy that never seems to run out of bodies to throw at us. Your statements of fact is such a proposed solution will soon follow. Strike a symbolic blow, something big and obvious that can give the Skitarii something to cheer. There is a statue of Agrolak in this tomb that might make for a suitable target. I see. This proposal shall be evaluated against competing mission priorities. Whoever Lord Agrolak was, he loved building statues to himself. Not so different from plenty of humans. I have registered concern and disappointment at your statement. Care that you do not compare the Xenos to a human. It is inimical to all humankind. Of course, Mechanicus. My Skitarii have scouted the location, but they haven't been able to destroy the statue because of the heavy Necron resistance in the area. If it falls, it will prove the Necrons don't have everything their own way on Silva Tenebris. Okay, so the fastest way to go would be 1, 2, 3, 4, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what we have here. A statue of Lord Agrolek dominates this chamber. It is smaller than the cohort's objective, but clearly such an icon of heresy cannot be left standing intact. Cut down the statue at the ankles. Blow up the statue. Deface the statue by scouring the features from its stylized face, with accompanying rites of scorn and retribution. We're gonna scribble Cyberdongs all over it. Let's do it. As the cohort intones the incantation of unyielding intolerance and the plasma cutter begins to sear the features from its face, hidden thermal projectors buffet the cohort with waves of heat. They're forced to fall back from the chamber, augmentations scrambled by a blast of white spectrum paint data streaming in from the statue. Clearly, the statue was something other than mere ornamentation. Should have seen that one coming. Loaded. Designation Praetorian. Weapon class Rod of Covenant. These names match Imperial records, however they predate them. Maybe Razak has information on this, let me check. Loaded. Necron scripture has proven decodable. They've catalogued their armories and regimental deployments. Their pride in not encrypting name designations has allowed decoding in noospheric binary. It appears this is your answer, xenobiologists. Praetorians scour the skies before an assault, often waiting for the upper file corruption too heavy to proceed. Best if we avoid interfering with Rezak's databanks in the future, certainly when he's midway through enemy data download. Scanner destroyed this one. And as noted, Triarch Praetorians have jetpacks that they use to boost up close and personal to our ranged troopers. So we need to keep that in mind. What else do we have? There's the Canoptek Acanthorite, which will be our priority target. And Deathmark, which will be another priority target. Necron Warrior can be pushed away safely, for now. As before, Jeremiah and Leonardus take point. Manarius, a little bit behind you. Teleporting. Phase shift. Up close and personal. And of course he is stealing. A bastard. That was a crit damage. So let's see. If we go for Cognition Freedom, this should reduce the arc rifle to 0. However, first of all, what do we know about you? 2 physical, 1 energy armor. We're in melee, so I suppose that there goes your turn. As for you, well, we're gonna have some cognition points, so we do that. We walk up, never mind the Overwatch. Even though it's hefty, 5 damage. We are dealing with you post-haste. 7 damage. We're definitely activating the power field generator. And if we're lucky, you will go down in one hit. We were lucky. Crit damage. That's what I like to see. And just so that we are all on the same page, walking up to you, and we're making sure that you are not doing anything funny. Ah, right. Jetpacks. That's gonna be 3 damage. He activates his jetpack and once again jumps to our ranged tech priest as I predicted. Those opportunity attacks are gonna be a bitch and a half to deal with. However, we are going to do something wicked and use the Arc Scourge for some additional damage. That's the first thing. Jeremiah, if you please. Then of course Phosphor Blast Pistol to see his statistics. 4 energy armor, understandable. Well, in that case, how about we go all in on physical damage, and that means Cognition Mechadendrite go, Sanctus Canister go, and Power Axe go. Respectable 7 damage. This is gonna hurt. But we will fix you up, if it's any consolation. 2 damage. Another one. Another 2 damage, or 3. 4. Yeah, we are definitely gonna need to fix you up. Because those Triac Praetorians are a little annoying to deal with. And I think I'm gonna even pop a Canticle for that one. Now, we use the Cognition Freedom. And are we in range for the Arc Rifle? We absolutely are. Which means you are our priority target. Yeah. Like that. Almost got you. Should have probably popped the Energy Enhancer as well, but too late on that one, unfortunately. Now, will this be enough, or do we need to kill everyone else as well? And yep, kill all enemies, as expected. I will smash that one as well, so we can dial the clock back a little bit. And I think we can start moving back in this direction, so that we can be a little closer to the cognition points present. Are you gonna shoot? You are. Ooh. That's some hefty 5 crit. If we're lucky, there will be no damage. No, there still was damage. So we gotta fix you up quick-like. Don't think we're going to be deploying anyone just yet. But what we are going to do is to move into position over here. That's 8 to 10 damage on Volkite Blaster, but it will be worth it. Well, first of all, grab ourselves another cognition point. Then we get over here. And we fix up Leonardus a little bit. Now we pop the Energia Enhancer. And pray that this will be enough to kill you. If not, I'm going to be somewhat disappointed and we'll have to switch our target for that one. Which in hindsight would be a better choice. Say goodbye. Cross your fingers, everyone. One of lethal, as it always happens. But at least there is one less to worry about. Two damage, 3 damage. And I will see you dealt with. Now then, are you prepared for the kind of death you deserve, little bot? First, tell me a little bit about yourself. No armor, as expected. Fine, we'll move up a little closer. And now, I will see you burn. Simple as. Oh, fine. I suppose we can give you an opportunity attack a little later. Back to Tomb Awakening level 1, as expected. Not deploying anything else. Kiratio Claw is still on cooldown, so that means we're blasting them out of space and out of time. Maybe we should also give you a dip in the Xenarite discipline for that 1 HP heal per turn. That should be decent. And as I said, you're going down. So goodbye. A statue group in the chamber ahead depicts several nameless Necron lords, all wielding a variety of weapons and implements of authority. Though not as dramatic as the target statue of Agrelak, it certainly represents the Necron leader's habit of self-aggrandizement. We will destroy them. That's the objective of the mission, after all. Gunfire and grenades reduce the statues to scorched rubble in an outpouring of righteous anger at the blasphemy of the Necrons represented. The noise and fury cannot help but attract attention, but the statues are made of precious metals that are subsequently salvaged, and the psychological impact of striking such a blow cannot be overstated. No downsides. An enormous metal depiction of a scythe-shaped craft was originally mounted on the ceiling of this chamber, but it has since fallen, blocking the way ahead. Perhaps it depicts Agrelak's flagship or a typical spacecraft of the fleets he commanded. In any case, it is now an obstacle. Clear the chamber with explosives, clear the chamber with plasma cutters, or seek another route. Let's go for plasma cutters. As the cohort sets about slicing through the sections of the spacecraft statue, one of the huge curving wings collapses on one of the cohort. The stricken trooper is extricated, but not before suffering serious crush injuries. Should have used explosives, I suppose. Hopefully this will have a good glyph. That one. Sure, won't say no to warpstone. Or excuse me, blackstone. Level 2. Scanner destroy these two. Same layout as before. Although this time we got the Acanthite and the Destroyer present. This is gonna be tight. Jeremiah, Leonardus, Manarius. One of the Skitari Rangers to lead the way, and Ranger Alpha as backup. Then again, maybe it's a little greedy, so let's go with that. Oh, and the death mark, of course. Ow. Phase shift, Overwatch, as expected. I'm gonna need you to delay your turn. I don't want you dead just yet. Manarius, on the other hand, need to move up to deal with those Acanthites. Physical armor, as expected. You should be able to eat this damage, I suppose. Yep, only 1 damage. Now we can move you at this point. Pop Cognition Freedom. Energy Enhancer. If we're lucky, this will be a little irrational, but it should deal some good damage to the Destroyer. Now I know we haven't scanned him, but that was a bit of an oversight on my part, so I'll take full responsibility. Leonardus, how are you feeling about trading 1 for 2? You like it? I knew you would. I'm gonna need you over here so that you can deal with that death mark. So, before we do that, grab 1 more cognition point, or I suppose first scan that Triarch Praetorian. Only energy armor. Understood. Now we can move up to the death mark. Activate power field generator. And you are going down. Excuse me, coming through. Another death mark, huh? This complicates things a little. So, might as well go back. And hopefully not get shot to shit after that. 3 damage. 4. Oh, if you insist. Sanctus Canister and a our axe. 7 damage, as expected. Stay put. Oof, 3 damage. You're gonna now teleport away. Yep. There's the Overwatch. Another Acanthite coming in. Nasty acid. There comes the Destroyer. How much damage it's gonna be? 3 damage. Even with the 3 armor that we have. That's nasty. Still, we gotta deal some damage at least. Time to replace Katari Ranger Alpha. If we're lucky, he'll deal with a death mark. If we're not, well, we are in a very precarious position with all this acid being thrown around. Can you scare this fucker away? I think you can. Throw off his groove. Wonderful. Precisely where I want him to be. If Leonardus wasn't so squishy at the moment. Here comes a mortal. Curatio Claw yourself. This is gonna hurt, so I suppose Xenorite Mechadendrite it is. Anything else we got? Cant of the Craft and Litany of the Electromancer. Yeah, this is gonna hurt. 2 damage. Gotta be very careful with Leonardus now. Very careful. That was worth it. That was absolutely worth it. Now we're just gonna stand by this death mark so it does not come back. I swear to God, if you kill Leonardus... Oh, you motherfucker. No, I won't tolerate that. Where were we? I think it was here. Not quite the angle I remember. But it is the one that I do remember. Now, where was I? Of course, you also go over there. will need to heal you up after that. Absolutely. Areas, can you get any of them? You absolutely can. If you deal some damage to them, that'll be also very appreciated. Got that one. And heal yourself up with a cure out of your claw. Yeah, I think we can deploy one of the Skitaria Rangers. Now, here's a funny bit. That one should have no armor. So if we are lucky, as mentioned, we will be able to kill him with the arc rifle shot. Let's hope we roll good. We absolutely did. And got us our cognition, one cognition point back out of that. Now, Leonardus, how would you like to take care of this one at no further cost to your life? I think you will. So, even got a crit out of it. So you can absolutely start moving on to the next one. We will deal with you, don't you worry. Now, do we allow ourselves to spend one cognition point to get there? Maybe. But right now, I'd rather shoot you so that you don't come back, you nasty bastard. So, stay where you are. Nobody is deploying. You can stay over there, just in case something does come out of here. Now, Manarius, tell me what you got over there. Kill all enemies. Anyone coming? Nobody's coming. So once again, for this one we're gonna go with Destroy for that additional blackstone. And let's see what else can we do. Let's try Demolish this time. Verily it is written that the Omnissiah grants his blessing to those who come well equipped with explosives. A demo charge splits the spacecraft statue in half, leaving the chamber ahead navigable, as well as compelling the destruction of another monument to Agrolak. that one. For more blackstone. And now that we've got cognition gauge full, we can deploy all of our cohorts, because this will be difficult. And I no need to rush over to the console, because this will spawn additional enemies, as we've seen. So, Jeremiah and Leonardus lead up front, Monarius right behind them. We deploy one Skitari Ranger and one Skitari Ranger Alpha. Of course, that bitch immediately steals our cognition. I'll retaliate in kind. Though this is always not a pleasant thing to have. I'm gonna delay our turn. Now what about that destroyer? Anything special about it? 16 health, 3 energy armor. Understood. In that case, how about we move up? Just be mindful of the Praetorians and the death mark. But I think we will be able to take down this Acanthite, especially if we pop the power field generator. Come on! And down it goes like a sack of potatoes. With that out of the way, we can move over here and trade 1 for 2. Oh, you just chose to shot us from across the map, huh? Fine. But we will get you, bitch. That's the one I want. Now tell me, Jeremiah, how would you like to be a bit of a bait? The Triarch Praetorian. Well, of course he goes after Monarius. As expected, that would be 3 damage. Here comes the destroyer. Now here's how we're gonna do this. Gonna Curatio Claw ourselves. And we're gonna Zenerate Mechadendrite. Or first we're gonna be use the Service Skull on that death mark. No armor. And then Zenerate Mechadendrite. So have fun with that. Deploy our second Skitari Ranger. Maybe over here. Destroyer coming up. What armor do you have? 4 energy. Understood. Redeploy. This will hurt, of course. Or no, we can delay a little bit. And then start dealing with you. especially once we get over here, up close and personal. And pop the Cant of the Craft. With any luck, you should be going down. Like that. Critical, so you're not getting back up again. There comes the shot. Teleport away, you nasty critter. Over there. Now, Ranger Alpha, I expect you to take the shot. And start leading to the Triarch Praetorian, because it is a nasty bastard. Now, if you can, and I think you will be able to, take the shot. This will just mildly annoy him. But it was a contribution. 2 damage. 2 damage. Now, let's introduce ourselves properly this time. Triarch Praetorian, Magus Jeremiah. Shake your hands, like that, very good. Now, introduce him to your collection of orbs, which he can ponder, and after that, firmly show him the door. Wonderful. Precisely the kind of manners I would like to see from the Adeptus Mechanicus priest. While we're here, I might as well get a little closer here and see whatever you have up there. No armor, that's what I wanted to see. Thank you. Now you will be dealt with, of course. But first of all, I'd like to get over here, pop my energy enhancer, cognition freedom, and absolutely delete your nasty ass from my sight. So, goodbye. I never liked you. Level 3, Necrons reanimate 1 turn faster. We gotta speed things up. Which means delete that one. Move up to the next position. Leonardus is over there. So get here, patch him up, and you should be able to grab that cognition point and dispose of the death mark. And of course, don't forget to shoot the warrior. Like that. You'll love to see it. Okay, now here comes the fun part. And by fun part, I of course mean first wave of reinforcements, but we've dealt with everyone else, so it shouldn't be too hard. A death mark here and the warrior here. Yep. Yep. Now, you've got 1 physical armor, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's just... No, not yet. But I will pop the Litany of Life Canticle on you. will attack you with a power axe like that. 5 damage. Okay. Phase shift. Now, Ranger, can you take the bullet? Not yet. This Ranger will be able to do that because he's got at least a bit of an energy armor, so 2 damage. And now you can deal with a death mark. Tactics. Jeremiah, how would you feel about grabbing those cognition points? I know you like them. Now, get over here. First of all, send away that warrior. And that death mark too. Bit of a waste of machine spirit, but sometimes I'd rather play it safe. Now you can start moving up. Coming up next. Which angle can we shoot you from? Over here. This will be a little unpleasant, but it is important, so... Good damage. Good damage all around. I can step away. And Magus Manarius can start making his way towards this obelisk. We'll leave you there for the time being. Leonardus will take care of this one because it is important we reduce the awake level somewhat and start moving towards the warrior. Now, if you can take down this Necron warrior, that would be very appreciated, and I think you will. Like that. Wonderful. Jeremiah cannot reach that one just yet, so he'll be on standby in case either of the tech priests needs some help. Yep, that one goes back up. If we're lucky, I don't think we will be able to kill it in one shot, but we're damn close to it. Now, Magus, you will be able to finish it up with your Xenarite Mechadendrite if we get over here. We'll also scan it. What's the next one coming out? An Immortal, and the Tech Priests must escape. Fine, but I will be grabbing this. For a reduction in the tomb's awake level, like that. We can also afford ourselves to be a little cheeky, so Cognition Freedom, Energy Enhancer, and Volkite Blaster your ass. We almost got you. Almost. The rest can move up to here. Let's see if we get lucky on here. Maybe we will, so... We did. Thank you, Skitari Ranger Alpha. You are doing your job properly. And have definitely earned your keep. I gotta say, this one went much better than the last attempt. Even if we had to roll back to the previous battle, it was still a desirable outcome, if I do say so myself. And we are done here. The monumental statue of Agrelek is bracketed with demolition charges. When they detonate, the statue topples, shattering on the floor of the chamber just as the Necron's grip on Silva Tenebris will surely break, under pressure from the Adeptus Mechanicus. There is little joy to be had among the Necron tombs, but I took pleasure in seeing that statue fall. The resource expenditure of this mission should be exceeded by the benefit gained for jubilation to be justified. Trust me, Magus, Skitari might be mentally tougher than unaugmented troops, but even their morale is too important to ignore. I am heartened you are not neglecting the psychological health of our troops. Most tech priests do not give a second thought. Most tech priests are not in command here. I am. And that is good for us. Melob sector located. The first forays into this tomb reveal a sight equally magnificent as this main. The tomb is a vast alien data loom, its structure covered in columns of Xenos data as if its very substance were composed of knowledge. Some parts of the tomb are more organized, like libraries of shimmering data crystal. Others are lightless chasms where enormous pillars move constantly, like the elements of a gargantuan machine effortlessly searching and sorting. Everywhere the air hums with a sheer volume of information seeping from every surface. This place is undoubtedly a mine of data. A tech priest can only look on it with lust as well as trepidation. And it looks like we are finally hitting the midway point of the game. If we look at the progression... See? Squarely in the mid-game section. Of course, we still got to kill the first two bosses. Agrelek and the other one. What was his name? Lord Acropis. And maybe we will consider it, or dealing with Void Admiral Agrelek, on our next stream. He will give us the Sanctus Canister 2, Plasma Caliber, and Skitari Vanguard Alpha Level 2. We'll see about that. But first, let's say hello to our newcomer, Magus Oriacus. I think it's time we turn this one into an Engine Seer. Because we do need a proper cleric for healing and cleansing debuffs. So, Cleansing Anointment. Active, cleanse the target of any negative effects. Passive, negative effects last 1 turn less. That means we'll also give you a better Curatio Claw. Next, what do we have? Torso augment, 3 HP, 1 energy armor. Legs, 2 HP, 1 energy armor. Head, plus 1 physical armor. And arms, plus 2 HP. Torso it is. Next, auto repair. Restore 1 HP at the end of unit's turn. That's very good. Next, I think we're gonna be grabbing head augment for physical armor. And finally, what can we give you? Distant Prayers. Heals 1 target for 3 HP. Takes 1 cognition point, cooldown 3. A little unimpressive, but good for a backup heal. After that, we'll have Enhanced Repair. Kiratio Claws have -1 cooldown and restore 2 more HP. And finally, Benediction. Choose between 2 Canticles. Restore all HP on all tech priests, or restore all HP on all troops. That will allow us for some risky plays. As for your weapons, I think we can also give you a combination of both melee and ranged ones, but right now you only have... There we go. Now you got 2 augment points to choose from, so I'm thinking a Power Axe and not the Volkite Blaster, but Gamma Pistol. However, just as I mentioned, look at the time, I think it's time for me to end tonight's stream. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, because we are definitely hitting that crucial point where the game stops being too hard, and we are definitely in the part where it starts becoming a power fantasy, if we play our cards right. I'd like to thank you all for coming. Hopefully you're enjoying the game as much as I do. And I will see you all at another time. Tomorrow we're coming back to Shadowrun. For now, however, peace out. See you later.